Children, now we are entering into the second part, that is Unit 2, Lesson 1. Unit 2 is totally concerned with poetry. Unit 2 is poetry. Unit 1 is prose. Prose, that is Shinish My Shield and why people really love technology. Now coming into the poetry, this is Once Upon a Time by Gabriel Wakara. Once Upon a Time. What is the title? వన్స్ అపాన్ ఏ టైమ్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం చిన్నప్పుడు అనగనగా ఒక రోజు అంటాం. అనగనగా ఒక రోజు కథల్లో చెప్పినట్టుగా అనిపిస్తుంది చూడండి. వన్స్ అపాన్ ఏ టైమ్. హూ హాజ్ రిటన్ దిస్? గ్యాబ్రియల్ ఒకారా. హూ ఈజ్ హీ? హూ ఈజ్ గ్యాబ్రియల్ ఒకారా? ఈజ్ ఎ నైజీరియన్ పోయిట్. Nigerian poet. So his full name is Gabriel Imochimi Zibangbe Okara. So Nigerian people are totally tribal culture. They are based on totally tribal culture. He was born in April 21st, 1921, Bumodi, Nigeria. Died on March 25th, 2019, recently. Yanagawa, Nigeria. This is a place in Nigeria. He is not only a poet, a novelist. He has also written some novels whose verse had been translated into several languages. Verse means poetry. So his poetry was being translated into several languages by the early 1960. By the 1960 itself, his poetry was translated into several languages. So he is such kind of a great man belonging to Nigerian country. So he is largely a self-educated man. So he haven't gone to any university, any college. He is totally self-educated. See how he has become self-educated. Wakara became a big bookbinder after leaving school. Just he has finished his school studies. Then he joined in a bookbinding company, books to be get bind over, and soon began writing plays and features for radio. There is a radio at that time. No, media was not this much active at that time. We don't have any internet. We don't have any WhatsApp groups and all such kind of things are not there at that time. He is only a bookbinder and began writing plays and features for radio. Features means articles. So current articles they used to write for radio and they have to give it in radio. Writing plays. Plays means drama. So he used to write dramas for the radio. In 1953, his poem The Call of the River Nun. It's a GK question also. The Call of the River Nun won an award at the Nigerian Festival of Arts. So it has The Call of the River. This poem won the Nigerian Festival Award. Some of his poems were published in the influential periodical Black Orpheus. It's a periodical book running by the Nigerian. So in that it was published. And by 1960, he was recognized as an accomplished literary craftsman. మంచి సాహిత్యవేత్త అని గుర్తింపు పొందాడు. By 1960, he was an accomplished and fulfilled, skilled, talented literary craftsman. He is a good literary craftsman. And in 1960 kalla, he got such kind of a recognition. అటువంటి గుర్తింపు తెచ్చుకున్నాడు. Wakara's poetry is based on a series of contrasts in which symbols are neatly balanced against each other. So the recognition of Wakara's poetry is symbolic. So immediately, if we say something, immediately we recognize the symbol of it. So his poetry is totally meant for symbolic. The need to reconcile, again concluding it is to be reunite. Reconcile means getting back. The extremes of experience. So in his poetry, what are the things we could see? Life, death. These two are common themes for his poetry. Life and death are common themes. preoccupies his verse. Preoccupies means before itself. It comes, it first of all, it takes the position, which is the thing, life and death takes the position, and then remaining. And a typical poem has a circular movement from everyday reality to a moment of joy and back to reality again. So all his poems, typical means just exactly what it conveys. It is a representation. So if we dress up in half saree, it is a typical Telugu girl, they say. So like that, his typical poems, all his poems are totally meant for circular movement. What is that circular movement? From everyday reality, he starts with everyday reality. ఇది రోజు జరిగేది అన్నట్టుగా. To a moment of joy, he takes us to a moment of joy. And back to reality again, he brings back to us. Again, he just brings back whatever he is saying to us. See, during much of the 1960s, Okara worked in civil service. So no any college studies, no any university studies, only leaving school studies. See where he had gone. From 1970 to 80, he was director of the Rivers State Publishing House in Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt is a place where he has become the director of the publishing house. పబ్లిషింగ్ హౌస్కి డైరెక్టర్గా అయిపోయాడు చూడండి. ఏం స్టడీస్ లేవు. His later works includes a collection of poems. A tarvata, he has done some collection of poems. So what are those poems? The Fisherman's Invocation and 2 books for children. Fisherman's Invocation. Invocation ante invoke చేయడం. సపోజ్ మనం ఏదైనా ఒక మొదలు పెట్టాం. ఫస్ట్ we start with వినాయక. సో వాట్ బికాస్ విఘ్నము లేకుండా చేయమని. అలాగే నెక్స్ట్ సరస్వతి. Do whatever the needs we got. That is the thing. The fisherman is asking for his invocation. So to gain whatever the need is to be for him is called invocation. So that is his book, and for the other books for children are Little Snake and Little Frog. Little Snake and Little Frog. And an adventure to Zuzu Island. An adventure to Zoo. These 2 books are for children. Particularly he had written for children. These 2 books. Little Snake and Little Frog and Adventure to Zuzu Island. His first novel, The Voice, is a remarkable linguistic experiment. Linguistic means Bhasha Shastram. In which, ఈ బుక్లో ఏం రాశాడు చూడండి. Wakara translated directly from Ijo language, that is the Nigerian language. It don't have any script. The Ijo language don't have any script. Raat ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఆల్ఫాబెట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ABC, that is English, that is Telugu. But Ijo language don't have any script లేదు దానికి. But what he had done is, see, imposing Ijo syntax into English. So he has used the English alphabets, writing that Ijo లాంగ్వేజ్ రాయడానికి ఇంగ్లీష్ ఆల్ఫాబెట్స్ యూజ్ చేసి నావెల్ రాశాడు. అది ది వాయిస్. ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు గివ్ లిటరలీ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ టు ఆఫ్రికన్ ఐడియాస్ అండ్ ఇమేజరీ. ఆఫ్రికన్ ఐడియాస్కి ఒక రూపం కల్పించడం కోసం ఇంగ్లీష్ ఆల్ఫాబెట్స్ని ఈజో సింటాక్స్కి వాడాడు. Wakara's skilled portrayal of the inner tensions of his hero distinguished him from many other Nigerian novelists. There are many people who has written such kind of books and novels and all. But even then, Wakara is distinguished. He's been separated. He's not just like all other people. He's not just like all other portrayal of the people. He is somewhat different. Wakara is different. So that could be seen by the inner tensions of his hero. Hero is nothing but the creative artist of the Wakara. All the hero tensions are nothing but Wakara's tensions. All the hero's words are nothing but Wakara's. So he is different from all other people, he is saying. So we just go to the background of Nigeria. Where is Nigeria? You could see this red spot is Nigeria. Where it is? This is Atlantic Ocean. This is African continent. See, in the globe you can see Nigerian location map. It is here. It is India. It is Nigeria. You could see this is all Africa. So it is their flag. This is Nigeria. I think you could understand. You could see the location where the Nigeria is. Here it is the continent. It is in the map. This is India. So this is the distance between this thing. So here is the Nigeria. It is the flag. So Wokara, why he has become in that way, you could see the Nigerian map. This was being occupied by the Britishers. This was being occupied by the Britishers. And it was being ruled by the Britishers. Since 1960, they got independence. When we got independence in 1947. They got independence in 1960. So like that, it is also occupied by the Western people, Britishers. So oka slogan undi chudandam, Ravi Astaminchani British Samraj. If this is the globe, the Britishers, they rule all over the part of this. So if it is here sun rising, it is sun setting. So this has got a part and this has got a part for the region for the Britishers. So that's why they say Ravi Astaminchan. If it is sun rising here, it is sun setting. If it is sun setting here, it is sun. So both sides of the globe, they got their rule. So everywhere they ruled. So in 1960, after getting independence, how the Nigerian people, by the time they have been totally influenced by the Western culture. See how the culture is. Tries to capture the culture, values and voice of Nigerian people. So what else the Nigerian people originally are. He want to catch that culture and values of the people when it is not occupied by the Britishers. There is a concern with the clash of Nigerian traditions and modern Western culture. There is a concern with clash of Nigerian traditions. Once how the Nigerian traditions are, and now what the influence of this Western culture is. Once the Nigerian traditions and now the Western culture, the influence, they two got a clash. There is a loss of real Nigerian identity. So automatically the influence of the Western people lose our identity and behavior. Obviously, we lose our identity. We are being much influenced by the Western culture. Nigeria was colonized by Britain in 1885. So it was colonized by Britain in 1885, like us only, just like India, and became a British protectorate. Protectorate means getting into. To get into that area is called protectorate. Chocchukoni povodam, lopalki vellipovodam. And British protectorate in 1901. So this was being protected by 1901. From 1885 to totally it was under 1901. It is totally under the Britishers. Nigeria gained its independence in 1960. So by the time there is a lot of influence. All these years they are influencing the people of the Nigerian. See what had happened. Nigeria still influenced by Western culture. See, everything. So what is the dressing, their sense, everything, it was being mixed up now. See, it was being mixed up. Still influenced by Western culture, attitudes and values, likely as a result of its past and ongoing global trade. Even the ongoing global trade is there. Because of that, the influence of the Western culture is totally on the Nigerian people. This poem, Once Upon a Time, explores what it gives. Explores means it explains the impact of Western development and the change in cultural attitudes, values, traditions of Nigerian people. The values and traditions of Nigerian people were changed, totally changed, how it was being influenced. That he will explain. See the poem. Once upon a time, son, they used to laugh with their hearts and laugh with their eyes. But now they only laugh with their teeth while their eyes block cold eyes. Read it again. Eyes block cold eyes. Search behind my shadow. There was a time indeed, second stanza. There was a time indeed, they used to shake hands with their hearts, but that's gone, son. Now they shake hands without hearts, while their left hands search my empty pockets. Third stanza. Feel at home, come again, they say. And when I come again and feel at home, once, twice, there will be no thrice. Once, twice, there will be no thrice. For then I find doors shut on me. For then I find doors shut on me. So I have learned many things, son. Fourth stanza. So I have learned many things, son. I have learned to wear many faces like dresses. Home face, office face, street face, horse face, cocktail face, with all their conforming smiles, like a fixed portrait smile. Like a fixed portrait smile. And I have learned too to laugh only with my teeth and shake hands without my heart. So now this is fifth stanza. And I have learned too to laugh with only my teeth and shake hands without my heart. I have also learned to say goodbye when I mean good redundance. When I mean good redundance. To say glad to meet you without being glad, and to say it's been nice talking to you after being bored. To say glad to meet you without being glad, and to say it's been nice talking to you after being bored. So sixth stanza. But believe me, son, sixth stanza. But believe me, son, I want to be what I used to be when I was like you. I want to unlearn all these muting things. I want to unlearn all these muting things. Most of all, I want to relearn. I want to relearn how to laugh. For my laugh in the mirror shows only my teeth like a snake's bare fangs. For my laugh in the mirror shows only my teeth like a snake's bare fangs. Last stanza. So show me, son. So, seventh stanza. So show me, son, how to laugh. Show me how I used to laugh and smile. Once upon a time when I was like you. Once upon a time when I was like you. Children, read this poem again and again. Just go through this poem again and again so that in the next class I will explain you what it is about. First of all, you should read the poem. Thank you. We will continue in the next class. Go through the poem once again. Thank you all.